time here. My name is Ari and I welcome you here. Thank you for being here with me and tuning in. Today's video is going to be about trusting in God. I have a little story time for you all that I definitely want to share and just get across for anyone that is going through any trials or tribulations. I want you to know that if you are beginning your walk with God, or if you are already in your walk with God, that the timing for all of us as individuals can look different. I've had many experiences where I find myself asking God, why is this happening to me? Why are you having me go through this trial? What is the purpose? What is the lesson? And what I have learned truly and wholeheartedly is that we have to stop asking why. We have to stop asking why. Because I think that, for me personally, I think that the experience is just promoting growth within us. And when we ask God why, sometimes He doesn't answer us. Sometimes He just gives us these experiences and gives us these trials, these tests that we need to pass. And it's only to make us stronger and to help us grow more in our faith and to trust in Him more. So I want to share a little story with you about this has happened to me in my job experience. And I know that we all experience different trials and tests and tribulations in other experiences, but this for me was in the workforce. So I was working at LAX for 6 years before I got laid off due to COVID. Unfortunately, the whole world went insane because somebody started coughing, right? Like, it was crazy. Like, it was in China, and then all of a sudden it came over to the United States. I was told 2 weeks off work with pay, and then after that it was just like, actually, don't come back to work. Like, you're gonna be laid off. The business has taken a hit, and then everybody just had to transition from there. So my experience with that, I got a lot of time to figure out what I actually wanted to do as far as work, and what would I do if I didn't get paid. And for me, that was health and fitness, which I became a personal trainer during that time, and that took off great for me. And during the pandemic, the gyms were closed, so I was outside with a lot of clients. I was able to go to clients' homes or meet them at their gyms. Anything that was like comfortable for them, because I was an independent contractor. So that took off really well. I had a great experience with that. But when the world opened back up, I went into the veterinarian field because I also have a love for animals, specifically dogs. So I started working at my first clinic when the world opened back up, like middle of 2021 or something like that. I don't know the specific date, but I got this job. It was like my dream job, and I was told, like, my mother encouraged me, like, just apply to jobs that you want, even if you don't have experience, even if you don't have the background, like, just apply. Because after COVID happened, a lot of people were working from home and they didn't want to go back to work. So they were just willing to hire people that actually wanted to come in to work instead of working at home. So I took this chance. I got a job as a receptionist at a very nice vet clinic, which it was 10-hour shifts. It was crazy. I had no experience in vet care whatsoever. So when I started the job, it was like being in vet school and also like learning the job all at once. It was a little bit overwhelming. So I had to learn medicine. I had to learn about pets, like, to a bigger extent. I've always had a dog my whole life. So I knew some of the basic things about dogs, but I didn't know, like, in detail about their sickness and things that they need vaccines for and all of that. So I learned a lot. So I truly, truly love this job. And I stayed in the vet field for about 2.5 years. So in this position, it started off great. It started off like, I'm learning so much. I want to excel here. I was doing my very best job. And then it kind of took a turn for the left. And when I say left, I'm not going to give so much detail about it, but basically I definitely feel like I was discriminated against. I was one of the only persons in my position of my race. Everyone else, was a different race. And I do feel like when I came into contact with that, it was a different experience for me, because usually I work in a more diverse culture. In this job, I did not. So I kind of feel like I stood out a lot just because I was the only one of my race in the position. And I do feel like I was discriminated against in this position after a certain amount of time. Like several months went by. It was like 3-4 months. Everything was great. And then I just started to feel bullied. I felt picked on. I felt like people were micromanaging me, even coworkers, people that weren't even in management positions. I definitely feel like the company was against me, or the people that worked there was against me, is a better way to put it. I won't go into specific situations that happen on it, but I just want to share this because I want everyone to know that when you're put in a situation, and this is where the God comes in, when you're put into a situation where you feel like a challenge that you feel like you shouldn't be encountering, it's God. And that is all I want to say about this. It is God just trying to make you stronger, pull you closer to Him, strengthen your faith, and make you a better person. Are you going to stoop down to other people's levels, or are you going to rise up and just be the authentic, true self that you are? Or are you going to let other people's negative influence deter you? So when I was going through this, in my mind, I'm like, oh my goodness, God, like you gave me this job. This is what I prayed for. This is what I wanted. I didn't even think that I would get the job. I landed here. I'm so happy here. I love the job, but the people around me, it feels toxic. It feels like I'm fighting a battle every time I go into work. I feel like people are pointing fingers at me. I feel like people are against me. I feel like people don't want the best for me in this work environment. It was very, very uncomfortable for me to be in this situation. And all the whys and all the tears that I cried about it, I complained about it, to my loved ones and people that, truly have my best interests at heart, because I was so confused. I'm like, why would God give me this job and then it go left? And then I have these experiences and I have these trials and I have these tests. But I realize now that it was only to make me stronger, only to make me braver, only to make me a better person. And no matter where you go in life, whether it's a job, whether it's school, people in your family, your friend groups, wherever, there's always going to be someone that might not care for you, that might show different favoritism towards you than others. Like you might feel like you're not as favored as someone else, or you might feel like this person treats them better than me, or why is it me? It's not you. I promise it's not you. Especially if you are keeping God first, it is not you. You have to always stay true to your core self. You have to believe in yourself. You have to trust in God and what He tells you, and that He will be your vindicator, because no one else can do that for you. You don't need to stoop to others' levels. You don't need to be petty. You do not need to get grimy. You do not need to have negative thoughts of other people. You just have to remain who you are. Let people treat you how they want, and if it's unfair, they're going to reap that. You have to know that they're going to reap what they're sowing. You stay true to who you are. And this was a big lesson I had to learn. I had to learn patience. I had to learn that no matter what comes against me in life, whether it's in the job, in the world, in the workforce, relationships, friendships, anything, like I have to keep God first, and I have to remember his word in it all. In the tests and trials and tribulations, I promise, during the test, it does not seem like it is going to progress. It just feels like you're stuck. It feels like you're in a battle, like going back and forth, a tug of war. But in the end, God always says that you don't see what I'm doing now, but you will recognize it later. And that means so much to me. And God says that when you're going through your tests, I will be silent so that you will grow, so that you will learn, so that you will lean more on me, so that you will trust more, so that you will build your, how do I want to say it? You will build your confidence in God. You will build more confidence within yourself. And you'll know that even though God put you in these situations that you wanted to be in, it might not always go the way that you planned. And I had no thought that it would go off course, that it would go left, that it wouldn't work out for me. And I ended up losing this job. I got fired from this job. I want to be 100% honest with you. But I was bullied in this situation. I was made to feel like I was doing something wrong. I did report this company to their HR, their higher up, their corporate, whatever. I did put in a full report on how I was treated. And I want you guys to know that even though something might happen that you're not okay with, as long as you follow up. The following up made me feel very good about it. Once I filed this report, I was told maybe about 2 months later that the hospital manager lost her job, and this was the lady that fired me, which I didn't want anyone to lose their job. That's not my goal. Nobody needs to lose their job, not in the day and age that we're living in. That is not what I wanted. I just wanted to report my experience and how I was treated unfairly, which I was. But maybe they found something else. I'm not sure how she lost the job. I'm not sure what went on. But I was notified that the case was basically not going to be investigated because the hospital manager was no longer with them. So it's like, okay, well, what do we do? Where do we go from here? They had nothing else to investigate. So I just want you guys to know that God listens to your prayers. He will take care of you. You do not have to fight back even when you want to. You need to just remain in his word, remain faithful, and thank him for everything that he's given you, even if it's not where you want to be. You need to enjoy the journey on where you're at to where you're going to be. I am on a totally different journey now. I'm on a totally different journey, and I've still had these experiences and encounters with people, and it's just like, I'm not going to ask God anymore. Why? I refuse to ask him. I'll just say, God, please let me learn the lesson in this. Please guide me in this. Let me do your will for my life and not my own, and help me to just be more like you every day, no matter what comes against me, no matter who has negative energy, no matter who has negative attitudes. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to stoop down to anyone's level. You have to be confident in yourself. You have to know who you are, and you have to understand that God puts us through certain things to make us stronger. And I am finally realizing that after many years, because I've been on this walk with growing my relationship and growing my faith with God for many years now. It's been almost 5 years. And I thank my parents for introducing God into my life and bringing me to church and Bible study and having me involved in all these different things to build my relationship with God. But until you, even though people can introduce you to God, it's still only you. Still only you that can build that personal relationship with God. And you can do that in many, many different ways. So I have another video on here about manifestation. You guys can go and take a look at that video. And I just want to encourage you, if you are going through any trial, any tribulation of any sort, family, work, relationships, friendships, personal, anything that it is, just remain faithful. Keep God first. If you like to write your thoughts down on paper, pray, meditate, and listen to people that are wiser than you. And that is my best advice, because I always listen to someone that can instill more knowledge in me than what I have. And we need to learn, and also me. This is a big, big thing for me. I have to remember to listen more than I hear. Because you can hear things and not take them in, but you actually need to listen to make the certain changes in your life. If someone is constantly telling you the same thing over and over, it could be you. Or if you hear the same thing from multiple people, it could be you. It's probably not that they're all just making up this idea. And I've had to accept that. You know, I've had to accept certain things about myself, like, okay, I can work on this. This is something I can change. And just ask God for discernment. Ask Him for wisdom. Ask Him for guidance. Ask Him to make you a better person today than you were yesterday. And that is my ultimate prayer. All the time I ask God this, because it means so much to me. And you all need to remember that the teacher was silent during the test. And when I heard that quote, it's like God wants you to figure it out. And He will speak to you when it is right, when it is the right time, when it is necessary for you to hear from Him. Continue to ask for His guidance. Ask Him to show His presence in your life. Say, Lord, I want to hear from you. What can I do in this situation? I can do all things with you, but nothing without you. Remember that. And I hope that this was inspirational for some of you all. It feels good to share, because I know that the walk with God, no matter what your faith, no matter what your religion, it can be difficult. And in this day and age, we all go through many different things. So I just want to encourage you to stay strong, stay faithful, stay brave, stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. Listen to listen to people that are wiser than you. Listen to podcasts. Go to church, find a church home, get involved, get connected in the way that you feel comfortable. Read. The more knowledge we have, it sets us free. We need to be knowledgeable on God's word, on what He tells us, on the things that He wants for our lives, on how He wants us to act, how He wants us to react, how He wants us to trust and let go of our own battles and give it to Him. He wants us to give it to Him. So I encourage you guys, I'm here. Drop any questions below. I love sharing these story times with you. I want to do more of this because I've experienced so much and I have a lot to say. I have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of experience now. So if you all have any questions, please just drop them below. And I just want to encourage you to stay faithful in your word. Stay faithful with God. Keep Him first in your walk of life. And thank you for tuning in with me. Stay tuning in for more videos. I'll do more story times. I have so much, like I said, I have so much knowledge to share. I have so many experiences, and I would love to share with you guys. So thank you for tuning in. If you stayed until the end, I truly appreciate that. I truly hope that someone is encouraged. I truly hope that someone is lifted by this message. I truly hope that God is a part of your lives, and if you have not found Him, you can always start. It's never too late. And I truly, truly appreciate you for tuning in with me. Until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.